Over the past couple of months, in between his trolling of fans asking where Kendrick's album is, TDE President Punch has also been promoting a new venture, A Room Full of Mirrors. Welcome to the Bar for Bar podcast, and this week we're going to try to figure out what exactly A Room Full of Mirrors is. So, everything started off, I guess, in January, where Punch just tweeted out a link to aroomfulofmirrors.com. When you click on this website, well, as of now at least, it takes you to their splash page, you could say. And on this page, you are basically introduced to everyone involved with A Room Full of Mirrors. So it goes Punch, obviously. We got Lyric Michelle, Hari, Nick Grant, Daylight, Early Riser, Camera's in the way. Jarius Law, Ichiban Don, and Billy Marie. Now, all of these are fantastic artists, if you haven't heard of them. My exposure to some of them was actually just through the few videos that they have posted via A Room Full of Mirrors, and I've liked everything I've seen thus far. But as far as A Room Full of Mirrors goes, it's weird. So there's not a whole lot that they've explicitly said. All that we've really gotten, honestly, is what they posted on their YouTube channel, and even that is very minimal. On their YouTube channel, obviously, they posted their first video, which was like the intro or trailer, you could say. And essentially what the trailer or intro video is everyone involved, at least every rapper involved, is just spinning a cappella, and the visuals are just them standing there mostly, but also like just random shots, which, I mean, honestly, it's pretty cool. It's very very mysterious though, because you really have no idea what's going on at this point in time. Like, obviously all these artists have worked together in some capacity, like whether it be on an actual track or just in the industry, or they're just good friends. Like, they're all intertwined somehow. But we still don't really know exactly what that is, at least from the first video. After that, they posted basically what ended up being, you can think of it as a vlog, and it's been going on for the past 4 weeks, and they post something every Wednesday, which is cool because it gives you a bit of a behind the scenes look at what exactly they're doing. What's still unclear though is what they're doing. Like, obviously they're all working on something together. Like, most of the videos have them either recording or just hanging out. Like, I think the first video had them in the studio for the most part. The second one had them mostly just, again, recording and playing basketball, I believe that was. Then the third one was them at the photo shoot, and then the fourth one was them just at the office getting, more recording done. Still, though, like, we don't know what's going on, because like I said, there's very little information given. All that we can really go off of right now, like literally today, we found out, February 22nd, they have a new song. Well, not a new song, they have their first song coming out on Wednesday, the 24th. So it's very likely, like, at that point we'll get more information as to what they are trying to do, but we still have bits and pieces of what it could be. My assumption has just been that this is going to be an album. This is going to be a group release, kind of like, or more of like a collective, you could say, kind of along the same lines as Grand National has in the Bay Area. Like, that's a collective. Not everyone is necessarily going to be involved with every track or every project, but if you want to hop on the track, you better get your rhymes ready. Like, you can also think of it as the Revenge of the Dreamers 3 recording sessions. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like, everyone involved is super excited to work with each other and super just ready to spit bars. I think one of the other videos that they posted, it was Hit My Cash App. But that one was basically just Daylight being like, yo, I was going to rap on this beat. How you on this beat? Like that's something that happens a lot of times when you're in a collaborative environment. Like you hear a beat and you're like, no, I need to get on that. But if you're too slow, someone else is going to hop on it before you. And I think that's kind of what happened there. Now, again, like it really just does feel like it's going to be a group release or collective or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's going to be necessarily a proper group, like long term, maybe. Like it's almost like, to me, it's more along the lines of Revenge of the Dreamers or Twice on Sunday, where everyone kind of comes together for this project, goes off and does their own thing for a bit, and then comes back together to work on it whenever they want to. Not necessarily like Slaughterhouse or something like that, where like with Slaughterhouse, everyone had to be involved with every track because they are a group. They need everyone to contribute. Here, because there's 12 people? 1, 2, 3. There's 9 people. So 9 people, you obviously can't have 9 people on a single track. And you can, but it will be a very long track typically. Unless everyone just gets like 8 bars. Or if you have no chorus. Like it's not very easy to do something like that. We'll have to really find out once the Mirrors track, which is the one that's supposed to drop on Wednesday, comes out. I'm assuming that'll lead to an announcement. I also don't know if that's going to be like I said, they're doing their vlog sort of things every Wednesday. I don't know if this is meant to take the place of their vlog for this week. I'm guessing it will, but if it doesn't, I'm sure their next vlog is going to give you a lot more information as far as what they're doing. Now, because there's so much that it could be. Like, it could either just be a group, it could be a single, it can be a new label entirely, which I'm not thinking it is because Punch is very invested in TDE. At least in my mind, he is. But seeing as people just do that thing, like where they're like, yes, I will just kind of go off and do my own thing for a minute. I'll be back later. It very well could just be like another group that they're doing. Kind of like how Black Hippie is to TDE. Like Black Hippie is a group within TDE comprised of K-Dot, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and Absol. But see, that's different though, because they're all already part of TDE. This one, the only person that's actually part of TDE is Punch. So maybe it's going more of a, PG Lang sort of route, where it's another venture entirely. I don't think it's going to go as in depth as PG Lang though, because PG Lang to me is more of a, like everyone's been saying in the comments, kind of like AWG for ASAP Mob. Like it's their kind of media label or media portion of it. Although even still, it does sound like PG Lang is meant to be a label of its own too, like musically rather than just production wise. But that's not what we're talking about right now. I already have a half hour of me just questioning what it is exactly. But A Room Full of Mirrors, like I'm trying to really understand what the mirrors part is, and to me, having a room full of mirrors is just means like you're gonna constantly be seeing reflections of yourself no matter where you look. So it could be thought of as everyone in this group, collective, whatever it is a reflection of each other, or their music is a reflection of each other's music, or whatever they're talking about is a reflection on what's happening in the world. There's a lot of possibilities with that. If it is more of a, this is what everyone brings to the table, obviously, but this is what they bring out of each other, that makes sense, because they're all going to be, I'm assuming, I mean, based on the artists that I'm familiar with, they're going to be pretty top tier lyricists. Like that's kind of the thing, you know, like they are lyricists. So with that in mind, I would assume that everyone that's involved is going to be basically part of, like they all have to go through some sort of friendly competition, you could say. I don't know why it took me so long to say that, but basically like they're going to bring out the best in each other. So you're going to have Daylight bring out the best in Punch. You're going to have Nick Grand bring out the best in Lyric Michelle, and so on and so forth. Like that's just going to be kind of part of it. And it makes sense because when you're in a collaborative environment like that, you're going to always want to try to be the best. You're always going to want to basically outperform your friends. That's fine. That's great, actually. That usually lends to great music. And that's assuming that it's just a reflection of each other, going off of the mirrors bit. If it's more of a reflection on what's happening in the world, that also makes a lot of sense. Because honestly, I feel like I heard about A Room Full of Mirrors before January, but if it, like my other point where it's like a reflection on what's happening in the world, that would have made a lot more sense last year. But a lot of the stuff that they were doing and recording and getting ready was happening last year. So it could be that, we're reflecting on all the stuff that happened last year and all the negativity and all the bad things, and basically just going to put a spin on it or talk about it, because it was kind of, I don't know, not a whole lot of people talked about it. A lot of people did, but some people feel like they want to elaborate a little bit more. That would make sense too. I don't see why it couldn't be that as well. Now, what's still confusing, you could say, is just what exactly are they trying to accomplish? Like, obviously, it could just be like, we are all people who have similar rhyme styles, we have a similar mindset, and we just like each other. So we wanted to get together and make music. That's totally a possibility, and that I have no objection to that. But I'm almost certain that there has to be more to it, because I don't know, like to have this many people involved isn't normal, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, you can have a group, you can have a collaborative environment, but oftentimes, like, you don't have 9 actual artists involved. Like, you'll have a couple people, like I'm including producers as artists as well, because they absolutely are. But like, you'll have the producer, you'll have a couple artists, you may have another producer in a house, and then just all the homies. Fine. In that sort of situation, there's not too many people really, I guess, involved, you could say. But now that you have basically 9 artists as well as other people, like, that's a lot of people in a room full of mirrors, actually. But like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, A Room Full of Mirrors, it could also very well just be that each individual artist has gone through some sort of growth internally, and have gone through an era or time or period of self-reflection, hence The Room Full of Mirrors. Like, for example, put yourself, like, if you're not feeling the greatest, like if you're in a super negative place, this is just an easier example for me to think of. Like, if you put yourself in a position where you're basically forced to look into yourself and see what's wrong and see what's going on and basically reflect, a lot of stuff's going to come out. You're going to have a lot of a lot of thoughts and a lot of, self-reflection and growth comes out of that. So with that growth, who knows? You can get some dope shit out of it. At least that's what I'm thinking. Like, it could be that them, like, they've all gone through that growth and are now like, we all went through similar experiences. We've all changed in a similar manner. So let's all get together and work on something together. Maybe. That's entirely possible. But I'm really leaning more towards, like, it's just a group of friends. They all knew each other prior to this. And they just want to put music out. And, like, they all like each other enough to be like, yo, we should put a project out together. Because that'd be dope. And I am totally here for it. The only, I don't know, like, I was going to say, like, the only thing I'm confused about, but not really, I guess. Like, the only thing that really throws a wrench into this for me is that with all the videos that they've been doing, like, the last 2 or 3, I don't remember exactly now. Let me see. The last 2, at least, have been fully recorded and edited and everything by Lyric Michelle. And to me, that's a little weird because they do have their photographer and, I'm assuming, video guy there. So it's like, why are you doing the video if it's really just, I don't know, like, if you're just going to be a rap group, why is one of the rappers doing all the video editing and everything? That's a completely different subject, but, like, it almost makes me think that this might be something along the same lines as maybe a PG Lang, because it's a creative outlet other than just music. If that's the case, cool, that's awesome. I'm also here for it. But I still lean more towards the fact, like, the idea that it's just going to be music, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what to expect with it, though, because, like I mentioned, like, there's the few artists, or the artists that I am familiar with from this group, being Punch, Daylight, Nick Grant, Ijibondan, like, they're all really good. So it's like, how are you going to basically showcase everyone and give everyone the light, essentially, to get attention and succeed? Like, or is this even meant to succeed? Like, are you just doing this because you want to? Or are you doing this because you want to promote everyone in the group? Like, it's, I don't know. Because, there are definitely projects that are out there that are like, yeah, we just put this out because we're having fun. And that's it. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything crazy special. Because even with the marketing and promotion, if you want to call it that, like, it's literally just Punch posting a link and nothing else. Like, with the original one, he just linked the website, aroomfullofmirrors.com. Or sorry, he linked the trailer, you could say. I think that's what it was. And then he just captioned A Room Full of Mirrors. And with the announcement of their Mirrors track, it just says 2/24/21 and then aroomfullofmirrors.com with just the clip that's on their YouTube page. So it's like, what exactly is happening here? I don't know. I really have no idea. It's interesting, for sure. Nonetheless, I'm going to make sure I listen to that track and do a breakdown for y'all, because I'm assuming it's going to be very lyric heavy. Like, come on now. You have battle rappers on here. Like, there's going to be bars, okay? Like, you can't have a person like Daylight on here and not expect just ridiculous bars. That's just who he is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah, because like it's just the single. Like if you go to their website, you can pre-order it now if you want. I'm actually curious. It might not even be on streaming when it comes out. Because yeah, it's like, oh, you can add to cart, and yeah, you just buy it on their website. Like it doesn't take you to iTunes or anything like that. They're like, yeah, here you get a link, and it's probably just gonna be emailed, similar to how some other people will do. But it's weird. Like, what are y'all doing? Oh, I see something now. So on their website, they have I don't know how I missed it before, but there's like a banner, which I think is actually meant for the pre-order. But it says something along the lines of, I'm reflecting on myself. Here, I'll wait for it to come back up again. Refresh the page. A room full of mirrors. And it's crazy to be able to relate to so many people at once, and to be able to grasp the concept of, I know there's something playing too, them reflecting parts of myself that I may have not looked at before. A room full of mirrors. Okay, yeah, that's just Lyric Michelle saying all this. Unless I'm mistaken. But anyways, what I'm gathering from that now is that, yeah, it's kind of like I was saying before. Like one of my original points. It's these people are together and they're reflecting parts of each other back to them. So like you have parts of you that you see in someone else, and that aspect of you is being reflected back at you, and you're like, oh shit, that's me. Like that's within me too. And so now, because everyone is basically in a room full of mirrors together, they're learning a lot more about each other, a lot about themselves, and just, you know, becoming, or not becoming better people necessarily, but becoming the best version of themselves, because they're acknowledging all the things within themselves that make them them, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of along the same lines as the self-reflection that I was talking about earlier. Like, with the self-reflection, you're going to find parts within you that you didn't necessarily know that you had within you, but they're necessary for your growth. And being surrounded by people who also reflect that same sort of ideology and the same thoughts as your own self-reflection really allows yourself to be empowered and change if need be, or go even further into whatever it is that you were doing that got you to your place, like in this place of self-reflection. I don't know. It's wild. That actually made a lot more sense now, and I wish I had properly read that before. But somehow I just didn't see it. But yeah, no, definitely be on the lookout for that though, because it seems like it's going to be something good. I guess we'll have to find out on Wednesday. That's pretty much all I got though. Let me know in the comments below what you think A Room Full of Mirrors is, whether it's going to be a group or just a collective, or they're just going to put out a few songs, or just an album one time and then just disperse after that. Let me know your thoughts. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.